Well, welcome back here to Oakdale. I'm here with one of the stalwart players and past pupils in Yuri van Vuren. Yuri, tell us what's it like to be back here?
Yeah, it's my first time back after school. It's been, I think, 4 years almost, so it's always good to come back to your home ground, watch a bit of rugby.
Well, your utility forward down at Western Province in the Stormers. You've had a shoulder injury. How's that coming along?
Yeah, well, my shoulder injury is almost 100% now. I should be back to play soon, hopefully next week. So just hopefully get back in the mix.
Right, well, last question here. Oakdale are ahead here. What have they got to do to close out and win this famous derby down here in Riversdale?
Yeah, well, it's end-to-end stuff at the moment, so hopefully the guys with the white T-shirts can bring it back home for the boys.
Well, thanks, Yuri.
So there we have the match statistics then after those words there from Yuri van Vuren. And just have a look at, generally speaking, you know, we've been fairly low in terms of handling errors and plenty of tackles that were made. But tackles missed, and Boland Landbou will not be happy with the tackles that they've missed. But I think also with the fact that, have a look at that, they've spent so much time in their own half of the field. 2 tries to Oakdale that they'll be particularly happy with too. There'll be some stern talking from Olaf Berg and Dion Carstens there to the Boland Landbou players. And I have to say that Oakdale certainly look a very, very confident outfit. Calm, under pressure. Uta Haman steering the ship from the fly half position. And the second half they will find themselves slightly or into a slight wind.
Where is it?
Well, both these teams also have very, very strong boarding houses, of course. With, the pupils, virtually all of them are not day scholars, but actually stay in the boarding establishment, which is great for building that camaraderie and togetherness that you need. And also having the wonderful, even some wildlife around you. There's some springboks here, real springboks that is, the animal springbok, the 4-legged one. And we have a look at the tries. And the first one there from HP van Schoor for Oakdale. It was a fantastic build-up this by the Oakdale team, and a good finish there from van Schoor. He just corkscrewed his way out of that first tackle.
Yeah, I scored!
Well, then they had another chance, and they came so close initially, and then it was a charge there from Hermanus Botha that got the second try, but the lead up to that was in fact HP van Schoor with 2 dummies. Here comes the second one, and now just a little short of legs as Philander catches up with him. But lovely play to get that ball out and allow Botha to cross over. Boland Landbou were kept in the race by 3 penalties from Jondre Williams. Can they get a try and a conversion to boot to bring them back into this game? Well, they've got a little bit of a breeze at their back to do that, as Oakdale find themselves under a bit of pressure there. Eckhard Leischer, the scrum half. And then Ivan Kutsia. Has he not been a hard-working tight forward this afternoon? And he's had that ball taken away from him as Landbou carried back there by a number of the big Oakdale forwards. So charge up from Bertha Smith for Oakdale, for Boland Landbou rather. And again, Jason Jafter has allowed sufficient time for advantage. Good to see too, and I think that's one of the reasons why we had such a good flowing first half, was the application of the advantage law.
Good work by Boland Landbou. This is exactly the start that they would have wanted in the beginning of the second half. Some stern words were talked to by Messrs. Olaf Berg and Dion Carstens to their charges. They looked out of their feet in the dying 10 minutes of that first half, and they'll want to get back into this clash via the boot of Jondre Williams. And this is well within his range.
I guess that Milan du Plessis and Andre Otto from the coaching staff of Oakdale will be really happy with the way that first half went, but they've got their work to do in the second half as the home team. That's a lovely camera angle, that. Just a little bit of a breeze towards the left-hand upright from the right. That's a good strike, but yeah, the breeze has just taken it a little wide. But he signified his intentions and his ability as John Ray Williams to be able to kick this ball some distance.
That breeze is starting to increase in its strength. Just at half-time, it's picked up since then, as Butter Hammond decides to go quickly.
Vasahi. In fact, this is Vasahi now, from originally from Philander. And the call for the mark there, so Oakdale, let's just see what their tactics are into the wind in the second half. Darren Adonis, he's a lovely runner with the ball. Doesn't he remind you so much of Serge Blanco, the great French fullback?
But it's over!
They're very keen on running with the ball, Oakdale, and they're making major commitments. Landbou, can they stretch this game a little bit and put some pressure out a little bit wider on the Oakdale team? There's John Ray Williams. Unable to keep that ball back in field, so it's going to be, I think, a Boland Landbou line out. And they really, Gareth, one feels, need to lay a foundation in these next 5 to 10 minutes of this game.
John Ray Williams there, you saw him in the unaccustomed position of left wing. Good work by Batter Smith. And then Williams looking to flick the ball on the inside. The touchline winning the race and handing possession over to Oakdale.
Yeah, it was actually Oakdale then that had that throw in. That ball's been knocked forward. Now Butter Hammond. Not sure that he should have kicked on that occasion, but it actually turned out to be a reasonable kick into space.
Release!
Well covered there by Luke Philander.
Stay on!
Now John Ray Williams. Such a measured player is John Ray Williams, and with a measured boot too. That ball not, unfortunately for him, getting the right bounce. Now Philander. It's fairly criminal to allow yourself to be hauled over the touchline when you've got lots of space to move infield.
Okay, easy, break.
Looks like he's just damaged his left leg in some form or another. Does Philander, maybe fell awkwardly.
He looks in a world of pain, does the fullback. Fell badly, did the number 15 wearing the Boland Landbou jumper. And the bounce of the ball just coming in, and he's fallen badly. And the weight and pressure from the Oakdale players has come through on his ankle.
Well, it's a day of injuries, isn't it, for Boland Landbou, with Yopi Dupasani, their captain, lasting just a couple of minutes of the match and having to leave the field, unfortunately, with concussion. Now it's Luke Philander who looks in a lot of pain. There's the captain, Yopi Dupasani, and so sad for him in the last match of the season to not be able to complete it, but such is the game of rugby. For those of you that are followers or ex-pupils or whatever it might be of these two schools, just to let you know too that in the lead-up matches to this first team encounter, it was pretty evenly, they were pretty evenly matched. I think it was 7 victories for Oakdale and 6 to Boland Landbou in the age groups as they've come through. So it's been a really, really close day of close encounters.
Well, there's a Springbok Rugby World Cup squad that was announced last night. And Hanneke Meyer and the 31 players, along with captain Jean de Villiers, will be looking to host that trophy aloft come 31 October.
Just to remember too that all 48 matches are screened live on SuperSport. It'll be a rugby feast where SuperSport will be your friend if you don't have one. Haman. So Hanno Ulefi taking it in, making sure that the possession is secured for Oakdale. Elisha. Now Bertie de Bod. Hard to bring down Bertie de Bod. Open side flanker for Oakdale. Here's Adonis making a nuisance of himself from fullback. And William Ibers. Well, they're getting possession once again. This is what happened in the first half as the time progressed, is they just got better and better quality ball did Oakdale. Bertie de Bot there. Quickly out from Alexander Wallace. And then HP van Square. I think he's tried to dummy on 2 occasions after those first 2 of his, and the Landbou guys have not fallen for it. Up towards 8 phases of play now. Laisha. Van Square. Oh, a little pop pass over the top. Now they've got numbers here. Can they make this work? Plenty of numbers. Oh, lock on coming from Hanno Olaf here. But one can't question the commitment of this Oakdale pack of forwards.
Well, what they are doing, Gavin, they're creating chances out wide. Unfortunately, their finishing has left a lot to be desired. They've butchered about 3 or 4 opportunities. Good work by the tight forwards yet again. A floated pass by Dutoy, then silky skills from Ian Kutsia. And unfortunately, the move breaking down with Hanno Olafier's hands, letting him down. We see the handling error, 6 by Oakdale, 3 by Boland Landbou. It's due to the surfeit of possession that they've had in the 43 minutes or so that has been played in this game.
So Dion Carsten's under a lot of pressure in his own 22. Eventually they decide in their own 22 again to chip kick. Didn't really work for them, but they've got the penalty, and that kick on that occasion was from Henlo Marais.
Well, they need a lengthy touch finder to Boland. They need a mechanism to get back into this game. They look somewhat laboured in their approach. They are missing too many tackles, and it's going to start counting against them if they are just having to defend for large parts of this game.
Well, Duncan Fasaki's been doing most of the kicking for them. On this occasion, it's Jandre Williams, but logically so, because he's the right footer, and on this side of the field, Donny Fasaki on the other side of the field.
There you see the tackle stat, 53 made by Boland Landbou and 37 by Oakdale. It's some missed tackles that are hampering their progress. 14 to the 5 of the home side.
Good quick defence from Oakdale up onto Boland Landbou, and this is reminiscent of the first half where they just couldn't get through, and almost too many players in standing positions when they receive the ball. And then, of course, turnovers have not aided their cause either. Here comes Wallace. Lovely pop pass here to the try scorer, Manus Buerta.
Boland Landbou's attack has gone south as all the players are congregated in a 15-meter radius. And again, they're turning over possession. That man in shot, Manus Buerta, has been outstanding in the loose phases this afternoon.
Well, surely it'll be time for some replacement shortly. At some point in time, as Henlo Marais tries to find his way through again. The missed tackles are not coming from Oakdale, they're coming from Boland Landbou. Fasaki, back foot is Wallace. Now here comes Adonis. As looks up, looks for his options, and here he goes. Opened up space, that's good play by him. Oh, Wallace. Alexander Wallace, he's had few opportunities in this game, so fresh legs, you could almost call it. And there's going to be a penalty here.
Oh, there's trouble here for the captain, Strumfer. That looks like it could be a red card if he's lifted him and dumped him.
Well, there's a yellow card and a red card in the hands of the referee at the moment.
Well, Jason Jefter's dropped the yellow card, and he's handed the captain, or the standing captain, Heinrich Strumfer, his 10 minutes in the bin.
Take a second.
Now, so Brendel's off the park, and Yopi Dupasani off injured, so there'll be a third captain for Boland Landbou in the course of this match. As Oakdale get a pretty good kick downfield.
It was a counter-attack. He was in a good position, Brendel. He lifted him, and he's fallen on top of him badly. He's lucky he's only got a yellow. Could have been a red card. Now, what is it about flankers in this contest? Last year we also had 1 or 2 in the bin.
Yeah, there was a red card last year in this match that was played at Boland Landbou. Oakdale have really covered ground well, haven't they? And that's not a good kick. Chance here. They need a spark to Boland Landbou, who can provide it for them.
Kom terug.
John Williams, often a go-to man, one would think.
Vantage nummer 3
But
ontkant.
he's out on the left wing, and in some ways, with respect to Dion Carstens, one feels that John Williams is a little bit wasted out wide. That's not a good kick. Well, there's a penalty that's already been awarded, so one needs to also understand that they have a chance again to get back into this game to Boland Landbou.
There's an assistant referee with his flag out.
Waar zo? Met die skop. Nee, die skop was fijn. Hij is lauw op zijn grond te staan. Hij heeft vastgehold tegen hom, is niks. Bly hier zo. Luister!
Well, that's rather decisive refereeing.
Na die skop. Hy het 20 en hy het kontak gehad, maar hy het nie opsetlik uitgevat nie. Okay. So is vir nummer 3 onkant.
The penalties against Christian de Toy being offside, and now this opportunity for Jean-Ray Williams to pull 3 points back. I can't help but agreeing with you and thinking that Jean-Ray Williams needs to get into that scrum off position. He needs to start directing traffic, and he needs to start bringing Boland back into this game, because at the moment they look somewhat rudderless.
Ja, maar as hy
It's
miskop
almost
dan
like
doen ek.
any other position where he can be part of this game, or you know, he's got to do the Brian Abana bit, and he's got to get himself more involved. He's got the skill set to do it, but at the moment all eyes are on that same man we were talking about, with a long kick but with a bit of a breeze at his back.
He needs to start it on that right hand upright, bring it in from right to left, and he'll end up with 3 points to his name.
No problem with the distance, and he's got the 3 points, so it's still game on. Boland Landbou absolutely hanging in here. We're up to 50 minutes just about of this game, another 20 to go. Could be anybody's game, this certainly. The first points, those are, of the second half.
Tactically, Boland Landbou have to be astute here. They need to play the game in Oakdale's half, because they are with a man in the bin.
It's perhaps the most crucial thing for them, to make sure that they dominate territory. They've got to get an educated kicking boot, getting the ball downfield with the wind, but they've also got to hold on to possession. They've given away far too much. I've seen so many turnovers. And they'll look back on this game and be concerned about that. Here's Wallace. Alexander Wallace takes 2 to bring him down. Here's Buto Himon.
Hands!
One of the rare turnovers that have gone the other way as Williams kicks it downfield. Darren Adonis is nowhere to be seen. He was up on attack. So back for it goes William Abers. No real pressure on William Abers, but he's done the important thing because he's got it into touch.
Good reading of the play by Jean-Ray Williams, and he's won about 50 meters for his side. Great counter-ruck coming in from Landbou. And it was in the form of the outside centre, Steenkamp and Johan Libber, that won possession for their side.
Well, can that penalty be the spark for Boland Landbou? They've dominated the encounters, the last 22 that these two teams have had, by winning 14 of them over the years since 1992. And they'd never played in 2009 because of swine flu. And that's John-Ray Williams' kick. Hits the upright, hits the corner flag, and goes into touch. So they'll come back to the 5-meter mark.
Could that just be the catalyst that ignites this Boland comeback? Williams in a little bit of space. He decided to put ball to boot, and the corner flag ultimately won the race, but the bounce has been kind for the visitors.
Oh, that's a brave throw-in, but a brilliant throw-in from HP van Schoor. Absolutely pinpoint too. Well done, fella. Buta Haman. Oh, it's a good kick that from the fly half. This is where you really need your fly halves to stand up and be counted. Haman's done the right thing. Boland Landbou failed to do that in the first half. They try to carry the ball out of their 22. Yeah, Hammond makes sure with a really excellent kick.
And the fact that Dion Carsten's left boot slid into touch has handed Oakdale the line out inside that Boland half of the field.
That's a very easy line out, no problem there for Oakdale. William Abers onto his brother. Strong running there from Kurt Abers. I wonder what it's like playing together as brothers in the centre position. The Oakdale twins. Boy, has Evan Kutsia worked really hard today. I've said it before, but he deserves so many accolades. Lovely hands there. Oh, there's the interception. Andre Williams, he said this is the man that could make a difference. Oh, an ankle tap and then a great cover tackle from Bertie de Bot. Everything that was needed. But that man in picture there, we know he's got the ability to change games. Touch and go.
Putahaman, he's come across with a try-saving ankle tap on Jandre Williams. And the intercept came from Hermanus Botha. Williams read it like a book and looked like he was in for all money. And the ankle tap came in from Butahaman to save the day. And Bertie de Bot bundled Williams into touch.
So the yellow card is something of the past with Heinrich Brendel back on the field. So captain back on again, and we're not sure who the captain was in his absence. Perhaps it doesn't matter. What an exciting encounter this has been. Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools rugby at its best. So Boland Landbou, they are 3 points off here. Starting to sniff that goal line. Here comes Williams again. Oh, he's knocked it on. Haman. That's another good kick. It's deep downfield, but there's got to be a chase, and it's not forthcoming. Now, the long pass, brilliant pass that from Carstens. Then the probe for the corner flag. The bounce is just not favourable again for Boland Landbou. But this team in black and gold are coming back into their own.
When you talk about momentum swings in a game, when Boland Landbou have their tails up, the pressure is squarely and firmly on the men from Oakdale. They'll need to thwart this pressure and try to turn it around, get into that Boland Landbou half and come away with some points, whether it's 3, 5 or 7. As we see the large frame of Dion Carstens, former Sharks, Western Province, Saracens and Springbok loosehead prop on the coaching staff of Boland Landbou. Concern written all over his face, the big man.
That's a real worry that for Oakdale. Kurt Abers was down there with an injury, but he's back on his feet, hobbling somewhat. And you can see the change there too with Boland Landbou. Elisha with a little run around. Good play by the scrum half. He should have let it go to Adonis. So Boland Landbou desperate now to get that ball back and open up some space somewhere. And one of the things to their credit is perhaps in the second half been the ability to play the ball a little bit wider than they were doing in the first half. And that's caused some damage in the Oakdale defence. There's another kicking chance here for Jandre Williams.
One feels it might be out of his range. 55 metres on the angle. However, he's decided to have a crack as Yaku Conradi has replaced the replacement in Duyaga. And now, as we see, Kurt Abers being taken off the field by the medics and Dane Kanamea replacing the outside centre.
One of the greatest things about the game of rugby is the ability of the momentum and the pendulum to swing from one half or within a half from one team to another, and we've certainly seen that today. Terrific play this from Oakdale, and terrific play from Boland in coming back the way they have.
Well, both these teams have gone at each other, hammer and tongs. Now this is an almighty effort if South African schools number 9, Jean-Ray Williams, can knock it over.
Well, that's going to be short. Inside there, Haman with a catch. And again, it's the educated boot of Buta Haman at fly half that makes certain of his touch finder. I think he's been done in there by the assistant referee a little bit.
There's plenty of nerves around. This is a tight encounter, and it's going to go down to the wire. One just feels that a moment of magic is going to steal it either way for either Boland Landbou or Oakdale.
And there's quite a few players on the field that can provide that magic. Boland Landbou, there's maybe one of them, Dion Carstens at scrum half, but John-Ray Williams out on the left wing would also want to get involved. Every time he's touched the ball, he's looked dangerous.
Release!
Responsible for all of the points from 4 penalty goals. And yeah, is a chance now for them. They've got extra men there. They got closed down quickly by Oakdale, who really have to keep their defensive alignment. And it's another turnover, this time in terms of a penalty for the ball being held on the deck.
Boland Landbou again turning possession over inside that Oakdale 22. And there you see the turnovers conceded, 3 by Boland and 7 by Oakdale.
Adonis. Well, it's Buta Haman that also does a lot of the kicking out of hand, but that's a very good kick that from the fullback. Hasn't he had an exceptional match, this man? Isn't he lovely to watch?
He's got silky skills, a wonderful running style, and he looks like he's got time on the ball, which is essential as a fullback.
Got the snappy feet of a Cheslin Colby. And a big smile on his face that he really enjoys his rugby.
And now finally sanity has prevailed, and they've moved Jean-Ray Williams into that scrum off position for the final 12 or so minutes.
Haman and Abers.
More!
So Oakdale driving forward there, but that ball's slow in coming out from the ruck. And as a result, well, it wasn't a ruck then, it was a maul. The referee has passed it, the put-in to Boland Landbou.
More.
Boland Landbou have had plenty of opportunities, as have Oakdale, and they just haven't converted them this afternoon. This was one of them by Jean-Ray Williams. He decided to put ball to boot instead of looking for the inside pass. And then the intercept where he looked like he was in for all money. It must be said, wonderful cross-covering defence by Buta Haman. He comes in with the ankle tap at the end, and then Bertie de Bot bundles him into touch.
So Williams now bringing in Dunrick for Saki, the long pass now, using the width of the field. That kick's gone too far, so it'll be easy here for Adonis. I don't think he likes kicking the ball, Darren Adonis. He loves running with it, but that time it's a great kick right up against the touchline. That's good play from the Oakdale fullback. I think Boland Landbou will do well not to kick the ball onto him.
But it was his kick chase that led to the turnover. He made the tackle with the help of Niku Faniadan and hard-working flanker Hanu Olafia. And he's won another turnover for his side. Certainly these sides have gone hammer and tongs at each other for the full 60 minutes thus far. And isn't it great to see the state of schoolboy rugby within South Africa? Wonderful skills on exhibition this afternoon. 2 scintillating tries by Oakdale and some exhibition goal kicking by Jean-Ray Williams.
And another tight match. 13-7 was the scoreline last year. Now there's only 3 points in it. Could really go any way. As Leisha tries to find an outside gap.
Yeah.
Now big Christian de Toy.
Number 6.
Dane Kannemeyer waiting for it on the near side. Van Spoor with the long pass. This is Bertie de Bot. That's a neat little kick there, but eventually it's into time. I think there's going to be a penalty here to Oakdale for a late tackle. And maybe the crowd have made that decision for the referee along with the assistant referee.
Well, nobody wants to be a referee these days. Everybody's got an opinion. Manu Strumper has been penalised for a late tackle, as some of the Boland Landbou old boys are somewhat aggrieved at Jason Jafta. And now, logically, it says that Oakdale need to smack it over and put themselves 6 points to the good.
Everyone's an opportunist, I suppose, on a rugby field, but even some of the spectators, and just to see some of those faces of the spectators in full voice there, just reminding the referee what decision he needs to make. There are a few pointing out, and oh, there's a few enjoying themselves too and taking it in relaxed mode. So good too to see the schools represented by their pupils, all smartly dressed in their school uniform. And this is a really important kick, this, for Darren Adonis.
Well, if he does manage to knock it over, it'll mean that Landbou, in the form of Boland Landbou, will need to score a 7-pointer to win this game.
If you did your maths correctly, you're spot on. Very measured approach from Darren Adonis. Slowly comes into it. And then chips it over. Well, he might not have had a great score on the scoreboard, but he certainly had a major influence in this match, that man in picture. Been a pleasure to watch him. Must be a very strong candidate for the man of the match.
Well, now Boland Landbou have to conjure up something in this last 6 minutes to pull this game out of the fire.
What is that something is the key question. One of them is to hold on to the ball. Now this is Nicholas van Heerden. Looks to bring it back in field. And it'll be a penalty to Oakdale. I just really find it extremely disappointing that Boland Landbou have not been able to control the important balls that they've had in their possession.
One just feels if their tight five would let the pass go to a man in a better position, they would have found themselves well ahead on the scoreboard. However, at this stage, 6 points adrift, as Butahaman has failed to find touch. In fact, he's found a wonderful touch up that far left-hand touchline.
Jandre Maria was right on their touchline, unable to pick it up, and a sad finish of the day there for Kurt Abers with a leg injury, but his twin brother is still on the park, partnered by Dane Kannemeyer in the centre position. So this will be the last Mutual and Federal Premier Interschools rugby this season. It's been 12 of them, and they've been fantastic matches that we've all been able to enjoy on SuperSport. Abers. Here comes that man Adonis, but he's hauled in by Lawrence van Dijk. Still they come. This time Butahaman. Eventually he's hauled into touch, but he won't be too worried because he knew there was a penalty accruing. And this is very, very kickable too for Boland Landbou.
And I tell you, the crowd is boisterous around us. They all point to the poles and shout, kick it a goal, put the game out of reach. As the replacement in,
21,
Lawrence van Dijk has come in with a hard tackle on Adonis.
Well, I must say, it's not often that we do sit in amongst the crowd when we are commentating, and you know, they know trouble to us, and hopefully we're not to them, but the animation and the bodily actions is just, as I look around, are quite incredible. They're absolutely living the match, aren't they?
Isn't it great to see the passion of all the community involved down here at Riversdale coming through? And that's one thing you can't buy, is passion, especially at schoolboy rugby.
Yeah, it's like being out on a farm. The merino sheep on the one side, the dairy cows on the other, a couple of tame springbok in an enclosure. So Darren Adonis now to see whether he can seal this. Surely this kick will mean the end of the game. No problem. Adonis has got the points when they really need it to stretch that lead to an almost impossible task now for Boland Landbou.
3 minuten is gespeeld worden in die wedstrijd. 21-12. Doel 3-3 strafdoelen. In die 4 strafdoelen van Boland. 3 minuten is gespeeld worden.
So Boland Landbou swarming down on attack, but they've got literally 2 minutes and a little bit to make a difference, and really they are marched back by Oakdale. That ball taking them 15 meters upfield. Lasha Haman doing the right thing now with a kick downfield onto Lawrence van Dijk. And now it's Jandre Maria, who's fought a little bit of a lone battle with carrying the ball upfield.
Black.
Van Dijk. Not much room there to move in. I'll tell you what, the Oakdale commitment from their tight forwards has been exceptional in this match. All the tackles that they've made, they've got about the park, and they've just made it so much easier for the men behind them. Williams. There seems to be a white jersey everywhere. Now here comes Williams, Jandre Williams. Can they pass the ball out? Well, they just seem so intent on carrying the ball themselves. At times, the Boland Landbou players, instead of letting the ball do the work. Well, that ball somehow stays in field after a little kick and the jump and whatever else went with it. With a minute left then, and it's an Oakdale throw-in.
Let's go, please.
HP van Square then with the throw-in. Important that he gets it right. Well, he hasn't done that. So Boland Landbou now with a chance. They're on the 22 at the moment for Saki. And Eno Maria with a strong straight run. They're too slow in getting to the ball there where Boland Landbou. Jandre Williams has secured it. Then Lawrence van Dijk. Jaco Conradi too. And now it's big Tristan Hill. Williams. Again, it's Jandre Maria fighting that lone battle at times. Williams. Oh, it's been knocked on. But it's going to be a penalty to Boland Landbou as the crowd comes swarming onto the field and then realise the game's not over. So back you go. There's still a penalty to be played out for Boland Landbou. There's no time, surely, for a line-out, so it'll be tap and go from Williams. Tristan Hill asked to carry it up.
Release wide! Advantage.
Well, it's another penalty advantage now for Boland Landbou.
Offside. Rivet.
Again,
Release,
Jason Jaffa doing well to keep that advantage going. There's a second advantage, so
Aussie ball.
Back they'll come. And Oakdale will have a half smile on their face because they know they're going to win this game. And they just don't want a try scored against them. Big charge there for Mati Makwala. Boy, that energy was needed maybe a little bit earlier than these last 3 minutes. Again, the same fellow, Ati Magalwa. Williams. Kisaki. Tell you, they are tackling the Oakdale team for all they are worth. Defending their line. Their line has not been crossed in this game. They've conceded 4 penalties, but no tries.
Fine.
Well, there goes Ati Magawa again. 3 times then the replacement hooker looking for his way through.
That's fine.
Oh, they've got numbers, yeah. Surely they've got to make this count. That's a little bit of a sidestep, but it's Sergel van Niekerk who gets a consolation try for Boland Landbou. And, well, they all know, those men in black and gold, that they're not going to win this match.
Stop.
That's a very, very good effort from them, yeah. Good sidestepping there from Sergel van Niekerk, who's had limited opportunities. John Williams will take the conversion to narrow the gap to 2 points. He's slap in front, so he shouldn't miss this one. And Jason Jafta just playing the role of policeman there. Just taking 2 players who are having a little bit of an altercation and separating them. So no problem then for Williams. And, well, it's a good finish, but not enough then for the Boland Landbou team. And the crowd are on their feet, and everybody, the players and the schoolboys, are onto the field to go and say well done to their heroes. Absolutely brilliant there. 2 tries to Oakdale, just the 1 to Boland Landbou. Final score then, Oakdale 21, Boland 19.